2023 is over, and it's time for 2024. That means it's time for reflection about the past and preparation for the future. In this video, I hope to share 5 things that I learned in 2023 and how you can apply them to your money. Hey everyone, my name is Sydney Brown, financial coach and budgeting expert, here to help you create and stick to a budget so that you can stop living paycheck to paycheck and start spending money with confidence. This channel is for single Black women who feel overwhelmed when they think about their financial future, confused when they think about managing their money, and shame when they think about their financial situation. I'm here to help you create and stick to a budget so that you can stop living paycheck to paycheck and start spending money with confidence. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss another video. Okay, so the first lesson that I learned this year was from my dog Cashew. And if you know anything about Cashew, he is scared of literally everything. We had to put him in classes to overcome his fear of the world. So he passed Manners 1 pretty much with flying colors, but you could kind of tell he was a little skittish in the class. And so he was recommended to go into confidence class before he continue the rest of the Manners series. It goes Manners 1, Manners 2, Manners 3. Cashew took Manners 1, he veered off and took confidence at the top of the year, and then he went into Manners 2, and that's a whole thing. He has an Instagram as well. Feel free to follow him on Instagram, Cashew the Dude, to see all of that story. But anyway, long story short, he took a confidence class at the top of this year, and his word for the year was confidence, and he was trying to gain confidence throughout the entire year. So the main thing that I learned from him about confidence is that without confidence, you can make bad decisions. Without confidence, you can make bad decisions that result in you being in worse situations. So for example, Cashew, when we take him outside to go on a walk, he is so scared of the noises that the world makes that oftentimes he will pull or lunge or make a rash decision, and it can result in him being very unsafe. So for example, if I'm trying to take him out to go to the bathroom, he can pull towards the cars just because he's scared of the noises something is making. And obviously we don't want him to get run over, and that him pulling towards the cars because of his lack of confidence results in him being in worse situations. So we're trying to build his confidence so he can focus on us. Because if he's focusing on the scary thing, he can lunge towards it or make a brash decision that ultimately results in worse outcomes. And that, I feel like what I learned from the confidence class is building his confidence will help him to alleviate some of that stress, which helps him to make better decisions, because while he's in a sane mind, he can think and make better decisions. So how can you apply that to your finances in 2024? So I recently listened to a podcast that was about women and their confidence, and how oftentimes women have less confidence than men when it comes to normal everyday financial situations. And it's not because they have any less financial knowledge. Men oftentimes just have financial confidence, but it's not based on any real evidence. And I'll try to link the podcast that I listened to in the description, because I thought it was pretty interesting, in case you are interested in listening to the podcast for yourself. But generally, they did an experiment. They were trying to test out confidence in women, things like that. And so what they did was they gave both women and men money to, invest however they wanted, but they didn't give them any instruction. So they gave them money but no instruction. And even though women had the same amount of financial knowledge as men, they chose to stay out of the market or chose not to invest, not because they had any less knowledge than the men. They just had less confidence. So basically, I felt like that was very parallel to what I learned from Cashew in the confidence class. You're making a bad decision not because you don't have the knowledge because you feel like you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the confidence, you're not making the best decision for your finances. So choosing to improve your confidence around money can have a big impact. And like I said, I'll link the actual podcast that had the whole experiment and what actually happened in the description. So the second thing I learned this year was around discipleship. I took this discipleship class at my church. It was called Surprise the World. I want to say it was an 8-week class. I'm not really sure, but I feel like it had a really big impact on me. I really enjoyed it. It was about the 5 habits of highly discipled people, something like that. I can also link the book for that in the description if you're interested. But yeah, so one of the 2 habits that I felt like I needed to improve the most on were generosity and hospitality. And I remember when I first started the class, I was like, man, these people want me to eat with someone every single week. That is going to get expensive. First of all, eating with people, and the other one is around blessing people, giving gifts. It doesn't have to necessarily be a gift, but that was one of the ways you could bless people by giving gifts. And so I was like, man, this is going to get expensive. Eating with people every week, eating out is personally one of the things that I don't like to spend money on. If there's any way that I can, obviously eating with others is a little bit different, but me just convenience eating out is I feel like is purposeless for my money. So I try not to do it. I try to do it as little as possible. If I don't really want something, then I really try not to eat out for just convenience purposes. I have no food at home. And so this habit that I'm trying to build for this, church thing that I'm doing, I was like, man, I really hope this doesn't get too expensive, because I was just worried that I was going to be spending too much money on all this. And I ended up really, I feel like through the, learning about hospitality and generosity and all of these different habits from the class that I was taking, I feel like I was able to really reframe the way that I was spending money on these things. I think previously I just kind of saw it as a waste of money, but then I think, over the course of the class, I reframed it to think about the way that I was spending money in the world, trying to create demand for things that I want to see in the world. And not only are you spending money just for food, but you're also spending money to create you can spend your money to create demand for the world that you want to see. So if you're spending money, if you really care about social justice and you are trying to empower Black people, not only are you eating out, but you're spending money on a small business, you're spending money on a Black business, you are spending money on a local business, you are helping to feed or fund somebody's Christmas. So just trying to reframe the way that you are thinking about wasting money as, if you can, do it in a way that creates demand for things that you want to see in the world. For example, small businesses, local businesses, Black businesses. Those are things that I care about, but whatever really matters to you, if you can reframe, what you're spending the money on as something that really matters to you, or to promote things that really matter to you. So if you can bring, while I was eating out, if I tried to bring someone to a Black business or a small business that I really care about, or a business that I think is doing a lot of good, I didn't have to spend the money, but I was going to spend the money anyway. So if I can choose to do so in a way to create demand for what I want to see in the world, I think that is a better way to reframe the way that I am spending or wasting money. To be clear, what I'm not saying is just, spend money frivolously on things that don't really matter. But in this situation, the point of the class that I was taking was to encourage hospitality and encourage generosity. And so if I was being generous, I tried to do so in a way that was buying things from places that represented what I wanted to see in the world. So buying from a small business or a local business or a small Black business or a women-owned business. So I guess my point is not to just spend money on anything and just be like, I'm creating demand for whatever. But when you do need to spend money, so when you are out of hair care products and you need to replace your shampoo and conditioner, can you do so from a Black business? Or can you do so from a local business? I thought that was something that I'm going to be trying to apply this year. Okay, lesson number 3, consistency trumps power. So this year I joined a really bougie gym. Okay, not too bougie, but I just don't want to be out here like representing them as a brand. So I'm just going to say a bougie gym. And as part of this bougie gym, you have to row. And they have benchmark challenges, and so every couple of months they have you do the same task that you did a few months ago, and the goal is to try to improve your performance. And so on this rowing challenge, I previously, whenever I did this rowing challenge, I just went for it, you know, I'm just going. I'm just trying to pull as fast as I can and go as hard as I can and do it as quick and as hard as humanly possible, because this time I am faster than the time I was last time. And I was just hoping that by sheer effort, just going for it, I would be able to get faster to the finish line than previously I was able to. And so the last benchmark challenge of the year, instead of just going for full force energy, just like putting all my energy at the front and then tiring myself out, I decided to try to keep a consistent pace the entire time, just a pace that I knew I could keep throughout the benchmark challenge, instead of trying to just sheerly go for it and just like burn myself out. Because I think I guess now I know what was happening was I was burning myself out in that first quarter of the race, and this is a marathon, not a sprint. So on the last benchmark challenge of the year, instead of going full force energy, I went as slow as I have ever gone, but consistently throughout the entire benchmark challenge, which I have never done. I also was always trying to just put as much effort in as I humanly could, and I was able to cut 15 seconds off of my last benchmark challenge of the year, which was huge. Like, I have never been able to cut that much time off of my benchmark, and so I was very proud of myself. And I felt like there was a lesson there, that just because you are putting in a lot of power, a lot of strength, doesn't mean you're necessarily getting anywhere. So just focus on consistency instead of power throughout this next year, especially when it comes to your money. Building those consistent habits instead of doing something with a lot of power and a lot of strength at the beginning that won't get you very far. So I thought that was a good lesson. Just focus on building that consistent habit with your money, like budgeting, like building those consistent daily habits with your money, and that is going to get you far. So it's not about winning the lottery. It's not about like something that's gonna be like a one-off thing, like getting a bonus. These are all great things, but when it comes to having just consistent daily money habits like budgeting, checking your spending, categorizing your expenses, these are going to be things that in the long run get you further and cut 15 seconds off your time over just small one-off efforts that really don't matter. Okay, so the next thing I learned this year was saying no so that you could say yes. Okay, so traditionally, I am a very accommodating person. I am someone who likes to say like yes and accommodate others. You know, I try to be very nice. You know, I'm considering reading this book about people pleasing because I think I do try to, you know, please and accommodate those around me as much as possible. But I think I'm learning this year it might be to the detriment of myself. I need to be a little bit more selfish, but not so. I don't want to be rude. I'm trying to find the balance between being assertive is what I've learned. Assertive. The balance between passive and aggressive is assertive. So I'm trying to be more assertive and not be so much of a pushover or just like people please to the point where I'm upset about what happened in the situation. Long ago, I read this book called Profit First, and it's a great book. I guess I can also link that one down in the description too. But one of the things that I really gained from the book Profit First was it's a business book, so it's not necessarily related to personal finance, but I think the concept does relate itself to personal finance. So in the book, it talks about a pyramid where you have 100 clients, in a business where you have 100 clients, and you break everything down into like 25 clients. So like 25, 25, 50, 75, 100. So you have 4 different quadrants. The top 25 are your first, second 25 are your second, the third 25 are your third, and your fourth 25 are your last. The top quartile oftentimes generates 89% of your business, so almost 90% of your business. And the bottom 3, 1, 2, 3, the bottom 3 quartiles, I guess, are generating like 10% of your revenue. And I remember reading this at the time and I was just like, there is no way that is possible. There is no way. And I did the same thing for my business. I did the exercise, whatever you're supposed to do, categorize your clients. This is for my financial coaching practice back in the day. And I categorized my clients at the time into the pyramid, and lo and behold, that was true for me too. And the concept in the book is that it takes just as much energy to service a poor client as it does to service a top tier client. So basically, why would you waste your time on bad clients when you could just be servicing or creating time? Say no to your bad clients so that you can create more time for your, clients that you want to see. And at the time, I did not want to say no. I was like, no, how could I lose all that money? No, why? Even though these clients are top tier, they are still clients, and I'm still making money off of them. Why would I want to get rid of these clients? I don't want to do that. Whatever. Ultimately, I finally decided to say no to these clients that were not top tier. And instead of using that time servicing those poor clients, I fired them and spent that time generating more top tier clients. And that was the best decision I could have ever made. I did not regret making that decision. I thought it was so hard to say no to these people that were not getting me the results that I wanted to see. But at the end of the day, letting go of them, even though I lost money, I was able to create room for clients that I wanted to see, clients that were making progress, clients that were doing what I needed them to do in order to make my business grow. So all of that to say, how do you apply that to your money? Sometimes you have to say no in order to say yes. So on the other side of your no, it's like saying yes to something is saying no to something else just inherently. You can't do everything all at the same time. So by saying no to some of these things I didn't want to be doing this year, I was able to create room to say yes for something that I did want to do this year. And even though it felt bad at the time to say no to those different things, I was very happy to have some of the experiences I had this year, and I felt like they were a little bit more intentional, a little bit more targeted, and I think that created for greater happiness. So sometimes you have to say no in order to say yes. Okay, and so my last lesson is progress, not perfection. That was one of the things I learned this year. Progress, not perfection. I realized this year I can be a little bit of a perfectionist, and I did not ever previously identify myself as a perfectionist, because I'm not somebody that needs to have everything right. I don't need things to be clearly I don't need things to be perfect. My room is a mess. I don't have a perfect environment, things like that. However, I noticed that me being a perfectionist stops me from trying new things. So for example, in church, a very small example is in church, if I don't know all the words to a song, I don't even though the words are on the screen, mind you, it's not because I don't know the words at all. The words are on the screen. If I don't know the melody of a song, if I don't know, I don't already know it, I sing it in my own personal life, I don't sing the words out loud because I'm too scared I'm gonna mess up the melody or sing the wrong lyrics, or the band goes up and I go down. I'm too much of a perfectionist to mess up in singing the song at church because I'm too scared. I'm too scared to look silly, or I guess to embarrass myself. So another way that shows up is with my dog Cashew in training class. The whole point of going to the class is to learn how to do the tasks so that we can go home and practice, not to show up perfect. But I want to show up perfect. I want to go to the class and Cashew already knows how to do the task, and that's not really how that works. So, I'm growing in this area still, definitely, but progress, not perfection, I think is a great lesson that I'm still applying today. But how can you apply it to your finances? You can apply it to your finances because just start. Don't let having the perfect budgeting app or the perfect system or knowing everything about budgeting and money and finances, don't let having all the knowledge stop you, or not having all the knowledge stop you from trying or having a failed attempt. Sometimes having a failed attempt is what allows you to progress just a little bit so that you can do it a little bit better next time. So you need to fail in order to succeed. So progress, not perfection. Just make a step this year. This year, I encourage you to take imperfect action. Make your first budget knowing that it's gonna fail. Save your first dollar knowing that it might not be enough for you to retire. Take imperfect action with the goal of progressing, not being perfect and having it all right the first time. Alright, shameless plug. I'm gonna send an email with one more bonus lesson that I learned this year because this video is already too long. Okay, and with that said, I'm gonna quickly go through what I hope to see in 2024. So my word for 2024 is gonna be balance. Like I alluded to earlier in the video, I want to be more assertive. So somewhere between aggressive and passive is assertive. I also want to find my intentional place with my content this year. I'm hoping to find somewhere between time consuming and spending all this time making these perfect videos, and sending out sloppy, unprocessed, really thoughtless content, something very intentional. Also, I want to find my place between being very community oriented and caring more about others than I do about myself, and being very selfish and not really caring about anyone other than myself. I want to find a balance in being more self-care focused, caring about myself just as much as I care about others, and finding a balance between being a saver and a spender, maybe trying to be more frugal, just spending money intentionally instead of just spending money, when I do spending money, spending too much, or saving so much that I never spend anything. I need to find a gray area. And then finally, I want to be more athletic this year. I want to find a balance between having a lot of cardio and having and doing strength training. I don't personally right now enjoy strength training, but I'm trying to embrace strength training so that I can be more athletic. So there you have it. This is your friendly reminder to reflect on the past and prepare for the future. What is your word for 2024? Did you come up with a word this year? Let me know in the comments. Also, please like this video if you liked it and you found something that you can apply to your money this year. Like this video to let me know this was a helpful video. Also, make sure you subscribe so you never miss another video. And then don't forget to sign up for the 52 Actionable Challenges. Challenges are designed to help you earn more money, save more money, and spend money on things you actually care about. The link for that is going to be in the description, so please sign up for that. I've been working very hard to revamp it and make it a little bit better this year. Alright, that's it for today.